All right, let's start our yoga class. So our requests for tonight, I must have been walking around barefoot. There's like a footprint on my yoga mat. Sorry. The requests for tonight were core and hips and neck and shoulders. Yeah. All right, so find a comfortable seat. And it's up to you if your camera's on or off. Find a comfortable seat, resist the urge to slouch, and just really give yourself a moment to land. Sometimes this part, when I sit on my yoga mat in the morning or in the afternoon, sometimes this part takes me a while, right? Just to get the mind and the body in the same place, just to just settle. So maybe we'll start like this. Like take a deep breath in through the nose and just let it out through the mouth like a sigh. And we'll do that. Maybe do that 2 or 3 more times. Just slow, a big deep breath in and let it out with an audible sigh. Just like let go of the day. And then eventually just let yourself be here. Self pause. It's not a small thing that you carved out this time for yourself. But give yourself permission to fully show up. And let your mind notice what that feels like, right? How the body feels about it. How the breath feels about it. How the mind feels about it. One or more of those things might resist every once in a while. But see if you can let yourself have this like loving space, this compassionate space for you to like settle into. So that when the being here, right? You can just like so lovingly guide it back, guide the breath back to the center, guide the mind back to your body. Start to notice your breath. You can start to play with it a little bit, start to slow it down, and just see what feels good. Like, what if there was no pattern and no like one way to do this? And you allow your body to be the guide. But the one parameter, the one request is that the breath gets a bit deeper, the breath gets a bit slower, and that your mind keeps turning inward, inwards towards the breath, deeper and deeper, inwards towards the breath. And then start to gently notice your body receiving the breath, how it feels, how it stretches, how it changes. And continue turning your mind deeper and deeper to the center of your body, whatever that means, wherever that kind of takes you. And let your mind spread out through your whole body, your whole being, sitting and breathing. Keep that slow, deep breath. And as your mind kind of centers in your body, allow yourself, to recognize maybe this is being centered in my mind. Having the mind wrapped around the body, having the body kind of or the breath deep within the body. And allow your mind to keep kind of going back and forth to like deep inside and then all the way to the edge of your body. You can add ujjayi if you'd like, the ocean sounding breath, causing a little sound of the ocean. Slow, deep breathing. Relaxing the jaw, the face, the shoulders. Continuing this deep breath and just recognizing how you are in this moment. And if there is pain or discomfort or distraction, can you allow this this focus on the breath? I always think of it like a love, right? We focus on something, we love it, right? I love the breath right now, right? Or maybe it's the body, or maybe it's this moment or the room you're in. Right? Allow that to override or to kind of hover above, if something is uncomfortable. If you find tension. And take a few more slow, deep breaths. Noticing what it feels like to be centered in the breath, in the moment, in the body, in the mind. And then eventually, when you feel ready, you can let your breathing practice go and your body will just do its thing. It can breathe all on its own. And just sit with yourself, sit with what is. Be with the room as it is, the sounds around you, the sort of gentle art of being here. And as you continue focusing on the body, allow your head to start to move. And I'm going to give a little less guidance than usual because I think your neck and your shoulders, especially if they're tight, they will show you, tell you how they want you to move. So add a little movement. Let it be really small at first so that you can really listen to it. Maybe it's similar to the directions I usually give, or maybe it's a little different. So much so that you kind of let go of what should be or what you think I'm asking for and just move in a way that the body would appreciate. Allowing this to be a form of self-noticing, self-care, self-love. And notice as, the pattern changes. Maybe the shoulders get involved. Maybe the whole torso gets involved. Continuing to focus on how the neck needs to be supported or stretched or moved. Good. And eventually find a place to pause. Maybe it's the typical head tipped to one side. Or maybe you found a little variation on it. And take a few slow, deep breaths. Pausing, exploring. If you want to keep moving a little bit on that side stretch, you certainly can. Good. And then eventually find the corresponding stretch on the other side. It might be a little different, but it'll be similar at least. But I just noticed my tendency. I tried to go into it as deep as I was when I ended the last one. So that was a mistake on my part, right? Or like I'm rushing it. So see if you can start just as gently as you did the other side and then find out where it goes. Right, deep in the breath. This stretch is brand new. And it might need a little variation, a little difference from the first one. Good. And eventually come up so you're sitting upright and tall. And let your chin move down towards your chest. And we'll do this a little more systematically. And as you inhale, just gently roll your head over to one side. Keep it small, keep it simple, keep it really gentle. And then exhale, chin to your chest. And inhale, other ear, other shoulder. So notice all the details. And maybe you were doing this before. But see if maybe this time you can do it maybe a little slower. Maybe with the mind kind of focused inward a little bit more. Good. And the next time your head is tipped over to the left, pause there for a moment. And then lean to the left, bring your left hand to the ground and float your right arm up and start to stretch it over. So we'll do a little, some circles with this one. So just let your arm take a nice big circle. So it'll come up, you can inhale it up and then exhale it circled in front of you, down to your side, and then you inhale back up. And I'm doing it if you need to see it. So just a big circle. And just notice what you notice. Notice how the body feels, how it responds. And then eventually find a place to land, up deep in the breath. When you're ready, you can start to float yourself back to center and just pause for a moment. Don't worry about going to the next side. Don't worry about the corresponding stretch. Just pause. And then let your head tip over to the other side. You can bring, I think I was mirroring you and that's throwing me off. I think it's I don't remember, whichever side you're doing. Bring your hand to the ground, start to tip. And then inhale, float your other arm back up. Good, and make a big slow circle. Deepen the breath. And I like to let my head kind of follow the arm. That way the neck kind of keeps moving. It won't get stiff or stuck in one spot. We'll keep our practice from getting stagnant, right? We'll just keep moving. And did we go the other way on the other side? I think I'm a little too deep in my own experience here. So I I don't know if we did the other side switched, but let's go back to center. And just pause and notice. Good. You can bring your hands into prayer. You bow your head to your heart. And Om Shanti Shanti peace, maybe peace, eternal peace. Good. And when you feel your gaze, release your hands. And we can slide off. You can slide off your props if you're sitting on anything and just press, place them off to the side. Excuse me. And from here, you get your legs a little happier if you need to. I have no specific direction, right? You can do whatever the feet need you to do to get them to feel better from being kind of stuck for a bit. We were focused a lot on the upper body, the lower body got stuck, right? And then eventually, you can have either hands behind you or forearms. You can bend your knees, feet wide apart. Sorry, my battery. There we go. And let your knees go side to side. Oops. And just notice, right? Can you let this be, not just a motion that you've done several times in yoga, but notice how it feels today, tonight. Notice all the details. Do you need a variation? Would you rather be on your forearms or on your hands, or would you rather do it a little differently? And the next time the knees are to the right, you can stay there and rearrange so you're comfortable. If you're leaned back, you can sit up. Or if you need a prop, my hip's been bugging me lately, so I find I need to kind of prop up. All right, so we're gonna do dolphin. So we'll do the movements of the spine. I'm in the, I guess what I need tonight is that like our practice just keeps moving. And so bring your hands either on either side of the knee or stacked on top of the right knee. And I think I said that right, right? Knees over to the right, hands around on the right knee. So inhale, sit up tall. And as you exhale, start to round your back a little bit. Go slow, dive down towards the knee, nose towards knee. And then inhale to unfurl. Your nose comes up first, then your heart, then you kind of puff up your chest, arch the back, look up, and then exhale, dive down. You tuck your tailbone, you round your spine, you dive down. So it's a little combo, right? It's got cat and cow. It's also kind of working the hip, those hip muscles, kind of stretching them. But move slow. Can you let go of, I've done this before. I know what this should look like and feel like, and let yourself experience, this moment, this movement, as if you've never done it before. And eventually you can come back up to seated, back up to neutral. Take a breath in. And you can, actually, let's do this. Let me keep breathing. Take your left hand to your left hip. We'll do that kind of back and forth thing. And as you inhale, hold on, I have to redo my props. As you inhale, press your hip forward and twist your torso. And as you exhale, bring the hip back. Sitting bones get closer to the ground. So inhale, hip goes forward. You twist your torso to the right. Exhale, unwind. So move with your breath. Inhale. Forward, exhale back. Good. And the next time you're twisted, just pause there. Rearrange your hands so they can support you. Lengthen the spine, kind of point the tailbone straight down towards the earth. And breathe. Just take a couple of slow, deep breaths. Feel good to lower down a little bit or keep moving. Maybe find something that feels really good. Like let your mind kind of explore through, let your movements let you explore what your muscles need you to do. Good. And when you're ready, you can start to lift up. You can unwind. You can bring your hands behind you or forearms. Let your knees go side to side again. So your feet can go wide apart. Knees bent. They go side to side. Good. And then you can switch sides. Knees over to the left, excuse me. All right, and we'll start with dolphin. So hands stacked on the left knee or on either side. So inhale, just gently lengthen. And exhale, start to round. Nose towards knee. Go nice and slow. Inhale to unfurl. And just notice that gentle arching of the back and rounding. There's a little extra, for me anyway, I feel like it's a little different from one side to the other. I get a little side stretch as well. That might just be where I'm more tight. And we get a little hip stretch, but you're going to feel it wherever you're more tight. So just let that be okay. Let your mind go to where you feel it. Breathe into it. Good. And then eventually come back up to neutral. Sit up nice and tall. The right hand's on your hip, left hand beside you. And we'll kind of come in and out of that twist. So inhale, press your hip forward, gently twist your torso. Exhale, unwind. So move gently and slowly, inhaling to twist. Exhale, unwind. And the next time you're twisted, as long as you're ready for it, you can pause there. Both hands the right hand can join the left. Sit up nice and tall, like really lengthen your spine. Point your tailbone towards the ground and breathe, deepen the breath. And then from there, once you've taken a couple breaths, just start to explore maybe, unless you're perfectly happy in the stretch. Are there little details that would feel good? Maybe a fold, maybe you lower down a little bit. Maybe you're in continual motion. Or maybe you're happy with stillness. But find something that works. Let your body be the teacher. It is a much better guide than I am. Whenever you're ready, you can start to lift up. You can unwind, bring your hands behind you. Knees can come up, forearms or hands behind you. Let your knees go side to side. Good. And when you're ready, come back up to seated. Find your sitting bones. And let your left leg, excuse me, let your left leg do what it needs to do. Sorry, I had a cold at the very beginning of May. And it's like still doing things to my sorry. All right. So your left leg is straight. All right legs. Okay. So sorry, I had to think for a second. So you're going to take hold of your knee and your foot. Let your belly be strong so you're not taxing your back. Let your arms be strong so you're not taxing your shoulders. And just start to move your leg around. It can go side to side. Sometimes it feels good to make a circle with it. And look lovingly at the leg. If you circle one way though, try to circle the other way. And just notice, it doesn't have to be a big stretch. It doesn't have to be the way we always do it, right? You can find little variations, little changes, right? We don't need to keep it all the same. So add movement to the knee, to the hip, to whatever needs moving. It doesn't have to look like mine. It doesn't have to look like anybody's. Good. And then eventually pause and just find a stretch. It can be real gentle if you need it to be, or like a little bit more if you need that. Just sit up nice and tall, find a stretch and just breathe. You're going to use your arms. Your arms are working. Your belly's working. But your hip, you want your hip to be getting a little stretch. Good. And then take your right foot and place it on the ground, either on one side of the left leg or the other. It doesn't matter. We'll get ourselves into a twist from here. So hands on the right knee, wherever your foot lands, just to help you sit up tall, right? If you need to bend the left leg, so be it. You can even put a blanket underneath. Just want to sit up nice and tall, press gently out the sole of your left foot. And just for a moment, just breathe. I'm lengthening my spine, right? I'm deepening the breath. Can you let that be enough just for now? Good. You can take the shoulders and start to circle them. Let them go up towards the ears, back towards the wall behind you, down towards the floor. And then you begin again. Shoulders go forward, up, back, and down. And let your mind focus on what the shoulder blades are doing, what the scapula is doing, right? Because it's squeezing together, it's going down, then they're spreading apart. So see if you let your mind just notice that. Good. And then gently release. Excuse me. And take your right arm. Sit up nice and tall. Take your right arm. We're going to find a rotation. Let's do it this way first. So take a breath in and exhale. Pull your hand back, bend your elbow, look over your right shoulder, and then kind of shut the door. So you're opening something, you're pulling something back towards you, you're twisting, you're looking back, and then you're unwinding. Oh, I forgot at the hospital job, there was a group I had. The guys decided, they kept saying, "Oh, it's like you're pulling a chainsaw." And I was like, "No, that's not yoga." So then our compromise was the lawnmower. So it's a super slow motion. I'm like pulling the lawnmower, right? The cord. If you only have an electric one, don't use this metaphor. Good. And then if that starts to feel nice and warmed up, let's change the pattern. Maybe you take what I call rainbow arms. So you float your arm up, you take your twist, arm goes behind you. I always keep it about shoulder height and then bring it back. June, June keeps knocking my mic off my head. Good. Great. So we're just warming up into the twist. Next time you're twisted or when you feel ready to hold it, bring your hand all the way to the ground behind you, your right hand. Your left hand can readjust if you need to. You're just going to hold or wrap the arm around the knee. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Focus on the length of your spine first. Deepen the breath. And then super gently shift into your twist. Maybe you're already in it, but let that be the intention. I'm really gently, hey, don't chew on that. So she's chewing on my microphone. Sorry. Inhale, lengthen. Never a dull moment with pets. Lengthen the spine. Exhale, soften into the twist. Gently press out the sole of your foot and ask yourself, am I being gentle with myself? Just notice your answer. Can you be kind of neutral about the results? And then ask yourself, can I be more gentle? I like that second question a lot because I think the answer is always yes. It doesn't mean we won't get work done, right? It doesn't mean we won't get the body what it needs. It just means like we can kind of soften into things, whether it's in our mind, in our breath, in our bodies. So take a couple more slow, deep breaths. Can you relax your shoulders? Can you relax the muscles of your face? Can you be fully present with the art of being here, with your body, with your breath, where your mind is? And when you're ready, I think I lost track of the counting I said we would do, but when you're ready, you can unwind nice and slow. You can undo your legs a bit, and then we'll do a little forward fold. So I like the knees bent. If you're a fan of hamstrings, you can do it that way if you want. But knees bent up or out, just drape your body over the legs. And stretch the back body. Deepen the breath. And when you feel ready, you can unfurl, come back up to seated. And extend your, right leg. Rights and lefts are tougher for me today than usual. All right, so sit up nice. Oh, actually, we're not going to do the twist first, are we? We're going to do the hip thing. So grab onto your foot and your knee of the left leg, the opposite side you didn't do, and add a little motion, right? You're going to use your belly to sit up tall, use your arms to move the leg, and just play with it. Like sometimes I'm specific. I say, rotate this way, rotate that way. But what if there was no shape or form? What if you just let your muscles kind of tell you what would feel good? And keep breathing. It might be different than the other side, right? And eventually you can find a stretch that feels good. It might be pulling the knee in the way I usually suggest. Maybe it's something else. And then eventually find the foot sway to the floor. So on the inside or the outside of the right leg, you can press out the sole of the right foot. Hands around the left knee rather, sorry, and sit up nice and tall and just pause. Right? I think we did the shoulders before, so let your shoulders take a little rotation up, back, and down. Excuse me. Good. And then you can rest the shoulders or release the shoulders, and we'll do that like pulling back, the slow motion lawnmower pull. So inhale, bend the elbow, pull the arm back, look over your left shoulder, and then go back to where you started. Reach through the shoulder. So just like find out what your body needs on this side. It might be different. That's right. Just keep breathing. Keep letting your mind kind of burrow down into the center, whatever that means. Right? Is my mind centered in the body? Is my mind centered in the breath? Is it centered in the room and the moment, right? It's all part of being here. And if you'd like a variation here, we can do the rainbow arm, as I like to call it. So move with your breath. It doesn't have to be a certain pattern, but it can be. And eventually you can land in your twist. So left hand behind you. Use it as leverage to gently lengthen your spine. Your right hand can hold the knee or wrap your arm around, whatever works. Press out the sole of the foot and then just like focus on just really gently lengthening your spine. Nothing to force or push, just lengthening. And then very, very gently softening into your twist. Look over your left shoulder. Keep breathing. Keep anchoring the mind in your experience. And knowing that that is, I think, self-love right there. To be anchored in your experience. To be accepting of what you find. Whenever you feel ready, very gently, you can start to unwind. You can undo the legs, and we'll do another forward fold. So knees bent up, or maybe you're in bound angle, feet together, knees out. And just drape your body over the legs. Maybe we'll do 3 or 4, very slow, deep breath. Whenever you're ready, you can start to roll your way back up. Good. You can bring your hands behind you, extend your legs, and just let your feet kind of flipper flapper side to side, windshield wiper feet. Good. And then you can release. Let me check what time it is. Whew, all right, we're moving slow. How about we stand? We'll be brief, but we'll stand just a little bit. All right, and we'll do we'll kind of keep that like moving through one thing to the other. Maybe we'll do some lungy things. So if you want your blocks, you can put them up front. If you don't have blocks, don't worry about it. So come up to the front of your yoga mat. And I always, every time I come up to the front of a yoga mat or I know mountain is coming, I shift my weight. I just notice the feet. So just like really gently. There's nothing that has to be, solved or proven or, checked off. It's just a question, like how do the feet feel? Just move your feet around. Right? How does it feel to stand? Just questions. And then eventually find balance. Ask the toes to spread out a little bit, ask the feet to be kind of grounded and balanced. And then check in on the legs. Allow or ask the knees to avoid overextended. Allow the muscles to be strong. And then check in on the torso, the belly. Ask the belly to be strong. Can the back be easygoing? Ask the heart to just brighten a little bit, to kind of beam out, right? Up and all. It's your beacon. It's your light, right? And let your shoulders roll up towards the ears for a moment. Just kind of hold them there. And then slide them just a little bit back towards the wall behind you and then down towards the ground. And then leave them be. And then notice the top of your head. Push the top of your head up towards the ceiling. Turn your palms forward and gently press out the ends of all your fingers. So now you're going in all these directions, right? Your feet are pushing down. Your crown is reaching up. Fingers reaching in lots of different directions, all out in different directions. So as you inhale, keep that strength, but add that lightness. Float your arms up, get nice and tall. And as you exhale, hinge at your hips, just really gently. You can bend your knees. You can let this be as gentle as you can. Float or fold over the legs. And inhale to a flat back. You can use your blocks. You can put your hands on your shins. Inhale, just really gently, flat back. Exhale, fold. So take your time. Inhale, lengthen legs, arms, spine. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees pretty deeply. You can slide your blocks back to line up with your toes or tent your fingers and do the same thing. Left foot steps back, lunge. Sorry, when I fold forward, I get extra stuffy and then it sounds like I'm teaching while plugging my nose. Good. So find your lunge and just a gentle rock forward and back on the back foot. I'll do it sideways in case you need a visual. Good. And then pause, right? Feel the strength of your legs. Your right thigh, real strong, sinks down. Left thigh, stay on the ground on left foot, but you're going to gently push the thigh up. Roll your shoulders back. Beam your heart forward. Lengthen the spine. Even the back of the neck gently lengthens. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, start to lengthen your leg. You can walk your hands back if you want, or lower your blocks, or do what is needed for you. And as you kind of fold over the leg like this, gently draw the left hip back just a little bit. It doesn't have to go far before you feel it. And then the right hip draws forward. That'll happen naturally. I'm just going to keep the hips square. That's all. And breathe. For me, it feels better to keep my arms straight and my spine a little straightish, but some people like to fold right over. It's really my hip that prevents that. Good. And then you can either tent your fingers or use your blocks. Bend your knee again. And from here, walk your right foot out to the edge of the mat. If you ever need a break, just lengthen your leg. Blocks, maybe not in the tallest setting. Left hand on a block or fist on the floor, just something that feels supported and good. And bring your right hand to your right knee. Did I say both hands on the inside of the right leg? I think I did. I'm sorry if I didn't. We're going to twist. This is very long-winded of me, but we're going to twist. So right hand on the right leg, and you're just going to twist. You can bring your arm up if you want. I like the feet wider. It makes for me, it feels better. But so keep breathing. And when you're ready, you can unwind. If your left knee is okay, you can bring your knee down. You can always bring a blanket underneath it. Feels good. A little stretch. You can also lower down onto forearms. Can you do like just a gentle lizard? And for me, it feels better to come in and out of it. So you can always want. And eventually, like, just hang out. Find something that feels good. And, sometimes, especially if we're kind of stretching up, we can get pretty stretchy here. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. So make sure your body agrees with this. Good. Sorry, this is supposed to be knees free, isn't it? So come back up towards your lunge. Walk your right foot back. So we're in a more typical lunge. Blocks or tented fingers. Lift the back knee. Inhale. And as you exhale, step your back foot up to meet your front foot. Standing forward fold. We'll do a little ragdoll. So just hang out here. Take a deep breath in. Let it out through the mouth. Slow, deep breath in. Let it out with an audible sigh. If you can breathe through your nose. Good. And then reverse swan dive. Bend your knees, shift your weight back into your heels. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Come all the way back up to standing, hands overhead. Exhale, hands to the heart. I can breathe again. Whew. Just pause for a moment. Find your mountain. Palms can come, or hands can come to your side, palms face open. When you're ready, on an inhale, we're going to do it again. Float your arms up, get nice and tall. Exhale, take your time, hinge, fold over legs, swan dive. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back, lengthen legs, arms, spine. Exhale, fold. And then from here, you can bend your knee, hands or blocks back in line with the toes. Right foot steps back, lunge, or the opposite. I think this is the opposite. Yes, it is. And you can give yourself a little rock forward and back, just mindful of the wrists, kind of rolling over the ball of the foot to the toes, stretching the calf. Good. And then you can pause, find the strength in your legs. Find, the simplicity of this form and breathe. Good. And then you can lengthen your left leg. Doesn't have to be straight, just lengthening. You can walk your hands back if that feels better. Blocks lowered, really whatever works. And then once you feel something that feels good, gently draw the left hip back and the right hip forward and breathe. And it's up to you whether your body folds over the legs or you kind of keep yourself supported with your arms and shoulders the way I do, and breathe. When you're ready, bend the knee. Bring both hands on the inside of the left leg and inch your left foot off to the left edge of the yoga mat. You might need to lower your block if it's in its tallest setting. And then bring your right hand to your right hip or right leg and left hand, start to twist. The arm, maybe it stays on the thigh or hip, or maybe it floats up. But find a twist, keep breathing. Make sure this feels safe on your low back. And when you're ready, you can unwind. We'll do lizard here. You can certainly make it a little more stronger and keep the back leg lifted, or you can bring the knee down. I can see my blanket now. So if you want to put a blanket or pillow under your knee, and then start to find something that you could hold. Maybe you lower down a little bit or a lot. Maybe you gently press the hips forward or come in and out of it a couple times. I'm going to let this be just like we did that neck thing at the beginning, like just explore, find what works for you. This side might be a completely different experience. And when you feel ready, you can climb back up. Just kind of rearrange so you can come back into a lunge for a moment. Back knee lifts, then hop your back foot up to meet the front foot. Come into a standing forward fold, it's a ragdoll. Take a deep breath in, let it out with a sigh. Maybe 2 more of those. And then prepare to reverse swan dive. Bend your knees, weight in the legs. Inhale, arms extend out and up. Come up to standing. Exhale, hands to the heart. Just pause. Your hands could be in prayer. Your hands could rest over your heart center. Just take a moment. Notice how you feel. Good. And when you're ready, you can release. And let's find our way to the yoga mat. We'll do belly down. If you need down dog on the way or anything else, you can certainly do that. But take your time and eventually find your way onto belly down onto your yoga mat. And when you get there, as usual, turn your head to one side. Just get comfortable. Bend your knees if you want. And let your feet go side to side. Then turn your head the other way. Release your legs. And bring, I've got a cat on my back. Bring your arms along the sides of your body. Excuse me, Juno. Palms face down. Chin or forehead on the ground. So your arms are like an inch or two away from your body. And let's start here. You can curl your toes under, press back to your heels, press your pelvis towards the ground. Draw the belly into the spine, lift your forward. Without lifting, just lift your shoulders up towards the sky a little bit like this and be a little more buoyant. Press the crown of the head away from your heel. And just lengthen back to your toes, lengthen back to your fingers, like to your head. Take a breath. You exhale, just keep lengthening and let things lift. Arms, legs, spine, chest, heart, head, everything lift. Keep breathing, keep lengthening. That's really the key. Keep opening the heart, using your belly muscles. Back strengthening too. Doesn't matter how high you lift, right? Focus on the length. And whenever you feel arms where you want them, turn your head to one side, just like before, bend your knees and let your feet go side to side. And turn your head the other way. Good. And then release. And here's, if your knees are up for it, you can push yourself back into child's pose. If not, just roll over onto your side and you can do a fetal position. So it's still in the pediatric realm. Sorry, school was going to my brain. So you're in a fetal position or you're in child's pose. Either way, just find a place to rest for a moment. And breathe. Right, sending awareness to the low back. Just send it some appreciation and love. And when you're ready, you can find your way onto your back. So those of you in child's pose, you can get creative. Find your way there. I need to have a way to keep time. Let me get my way to keep time here. All right. And once you find your way onto your back, you can draw your knees into your chest. Hold the knees or wrap your arms around them and rock side to side. Good. And then eventually come to stillness. We'll do a little core before we twist. So let's see, bring your feet to the floor. And we'll work on like consciously engaging the belly. So take a breath in, or arms along the sides of your body, palms facing down. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, hug the belly muscles into your spine, flatten your back out on the yoga mat. And just pause here and breathe. See if you can let there be more strength in the belly than in the back to kind of push the back down. Good. And then keep that strength and float your knees up towards your chest. And then once they're there, you can hold on to them if you want and just relax. Although I switched the arms around now that I grab my knees. So let's reset. Sorry. So bring your feet to the floor. Arms along the sides of your body if they aren't already. Palms face down. Shoulder blades can tuck under a little. Gently hug the belly into the spine. Make sure you can keep breathing. And then float your knees up. All right. So we're going to kind of keep this shape, but we can change it in a moment. So you're just going to slowly dip one leg towards the yoga mat. And then bring it back up and switch sides. So keep hugging the belly into the spine. Keep breathing. If this feels too easy, you have a few options. You could go slower. You could do both feet at the same time. The version I like lately is I make my legs in 90-degree angles. Kind of requires a little more effort in consciously engaging the belly. It's really easy to use the back. So keep pushing the belly into the spine into the yoga mat. Just slowly do your dips. One leg at a time, but just keep alternating. Keep breathing. And if this is too much, I mean, you could just kind of find a place where you can float the legs in the air and hug the belly, right? If the hips don't like this or the legs don't like this, there's always different ways to work the core. Good. And when you're tired, when you've had enough, you can rest your feet on the floor. Change the position of the arms, maybe the hands on the belly, and just take a moment, let your back rest. You can walk your feet about as wide as your yoga mat is wide. And let your knees bend and let your excuse me, knees go side to side. Good. And then come back to center. You can walk your feet a little closer. And we'll do that same thing, just gently hugging the belly into the spine into the floor. Bring your knees in. Your hands and your feet up towards the sky. And just pause. Like this might be plenty. Just hanging out with the limbs floating into the air, the belly hugging into the spine. But you could also do that thing we usually do. So kind of let your mind's eye notice the diagonals. And your right arm is going to move with your left arm. Your left arm is going to move with, that didn't make sense. Right arm, left foot. Left arm, right foot. So take a breath in. Hug the belly into the spine. As you exhale, let your right arm go overhead and touch the floor. Let your left leg go to the ground and touch the floor. And then inhale them back up. Use your belly strength and switch opposite diagonals. Left arm, right foot. So use your belly and go one diagonal at a time. So there will always be two limbs in the air, and then two limbs moving. So keep breathing. Keep hugging the belly into the spine. And you can do as many or as few of these as you would like. Oh, hi, Jake. And you can release whenever you're ready. And just like before, when you are done, feet touch the floor or flat on the floor, knees wide apart. Let your feet go side to side. Or sorry, let your knees go side to side. I get a little stuffy and then my brain, I can't make sense of it. My words coming out of my mouth. Arms where you want them. Maybe they're overhead. Maybe the hands are on your belly. All right, and let's come back to center. We started with a seated twist. Let's complete our practice with a supine twist. So arms out wide in a T position. You could slide your hips over to the left a little bit. And the knees can go to the right. They could just fall over to the right, or you can bring them in towards the arm, towards the shoulder, and then over to the right. And breathe. And notice what you need. I just realized I didn't have my prop. I like a block in between my knees or a blanket. So your knees go right, your head looks left. And take a few slow, deep breaths. Just notice. Breathe deeply. Let your body just soften into the shape, soften into the ground. When you feel ready, you can start to unwind, slide your feet back to the yoga mat, let the knees lift up, square your hips, and just give your back a moment. Good. And then we'll do the other side. So hips over to the right, knees in and over to the left. And you can turn your head to look right. So deepen the breath. Soften where you can. Notice where your mind is. See if you can center it into the body again, if it isn't already. Whenever you feel ready, you can start to unwind. Sorry, June. You can square your hips. And just take a moment to notice how you feel. And from here, the practice is yours. We'll do relaxation soon. But if there's anything else that your body needs, another stretch, another movement, it doesn't have to look like yoga. Do that now. Right? Take another minute or two, do what you need to do. And then when you feel ready, you could set yourself up for relaxation, but no pressure, no rush, no, there's no system here. I mean, there kind of is, but Juniper. All right, so when you feel ready for relaxation, you can set yourself up if you haven't already. And start your practice with a few slow, deep breaths. Feel your body resting against the ground. And just give yourself permission once again to be here. So let your mind be centered in your body. To let your mind be centered in the breath, in your experience. In the room. And give yourself permission to relax and release. Right? The floor, the ground underneath you gives you support. The walls, the ceiling, they give you protection in a way. So you are safe, right? Allow yourself to relax, to be here. to let go. If you feel ready to return, you can start to deepen your breath. You can start to move fingers and toes. You can start to stretch or move however you need to. And eventually, it might feel good to bring the knees into the chest. You could roll over to one side eventually. And keeping your attention focused inward, you can start to press yourself up to seated, only if you're ready. And if you are ready, and when you do get there, just take a moment to notice how you feel. And if it's comfortable, you can bring your hands into prayer position in front of your heart. You can bow your head to your heart and just send yourself a pretty big dose of gratitude, respect, and love, and peace. Just offering that all to yourself. And now that it's yours, you can share it with the world. So Jai Bhagwan, Namaste. Peace, peace, peace. And when you feel ready to lift your gaze, you can. Thank you, thank you, thank you.